Hi, I am Ellie, and today I'm talking about how long it takes to complete the journey home back to self love, to reach the depth of love and self awareness within yourself. And it's different for everyone, but there are two things that are going to depend on how long it takes. The first is how heavy your pain body is. So I grew up in a home with a very heavy pain body, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And I am an energy intuitive, so okay, bring on the fun. So I absorbed a lot of pain that I embodied because of my environment. I took it on. And then because of that pain body, I entered into a lot of abusive, toxic relationships, friendships, you name it. And so when I started my journey into self-love and self-awareness, I had a very heavy pain body, a lot of beliefs about unworthiness for myself. So it's definitely going to depend on how heavy your pain body is, for sure. The second thing is how devoted you are to the process. How much time are you willing to put in it? So I had a very heavy pain body, but I was intensely devoted to the path. So I put hours and hours every single day into meditation and mindfulness practices, into studying spirituality, into studying the mind, studying energy. So I probably put 4 hours a day minimum at first, and then now my whole life is devoted to this. Spirituality is not a hobby for me. It is a way of being. It is all there is for me. Everything comes from my connection to the one. And to feeling energy and love. So it's going to depend on those two things: how heavy your pain body is and how devoted you are, how much tenacity you have to coming home to self. So different for everyone, but I just wanted to say that it is worth every single step, every minute you put in to come home to yourself, to become so in love with yourself, with life, connected to the divine, self-aware. So now you can move towards what you want. You have conscious choice now. You are not just getting whipped around by the winds of life. You are not getting just moved by the mind, the endless thought patterns. No, you have conscious choice when you reach this point. And I want to say this. So it is not like it happens all at once. You are working, and then one day, oh, here we go. No. It happens in layers. So when my journey started in 2020, it was beautiful too. So if you want to really start this process, you have to want it. You have to call out to it. I remember being in the car driving, and I was thinking about my religious background. I grew up in Christianity, and I felt the love of Jesus, Yeshua, very strongly. But the church, I felt unlove in the church. I remember one of the last services I ever went to at church, they were talking about people who were gay, lesbian, the LGBT community, and how they were sinners and, all this stuff, and they were not loved. I was just like, what the F are you talking about? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It's just like the unlove, which did not match the energy that I was feeling when I was connecting to Jesus, Yeshua, who was just pure, unconditional love for everyone. And so, and so I remember driving in the car, and I called out to the universe very intensely, and I said, I felt the love of Jesus, but the church was unloved. What is love? I remember calling out to the universe, show me what love is, very intensely. And be careful what you ask for, because just a very short time later, my life completely fell apart. It was as if the ground beneath me just cracked open and crumbled, and I just fell through with no ground to stand on. I lost everything in my life, all of my friendships, all of my relationships. I had a serious back injury, level 10 pain. Everything fell away because it was not in alignment for me at all. And so we can call out to start the process, but it happens in layers. So even that first year when I began the journey, going into meditations, connecting to awareness and love, the sacred alchemy, I started already just immediately to awaken to love, to awaken to the fact that I was much bigger than I had been perceiving myself before. There was so much more happening that I couldn't see and understand, and it was very incredible. I remember that very first year I went outside after I finally could. I had been in level 10 pain for almost 2.5 months without relief, just level 10 pain, nothing but the pain, very intense. And then I was able to get up at a certain point and go outside. And I remember looking at the sky, nature, and it was as if I had seen it for the very first time. And I remember it was like, took my breath away. I couldn't believe how gloriously beautiful it was. And so the process can start, right away. But it's like veils and veils dropping about, the programs, conditioned beliefs you have about your self-worth and about yourself and others, the whole world. They start falling away slowly, increasingly. Also, the love that you feel for yourself starts to grow. The awareness, self-awareness you have starts to grow. So it is a process. And then as we continue on with that journey, with devotion to that, we then will eventually come to a point where we have reached the depth of self-love for ourselves, for the source, for others. We are very self-aware, although the journey, I want to be clear, is never over. We still continue this process. I am still continuing this process, but the difference is that I am rooted in my self-love. I am very self-aware, and so it's very individual. But I just wanted to touch on this. How are you doing? If you like this video, I would love it if you would like it. I would love it if you would support me by subscribing. Speak to me in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions, comments. And I would love to connect with you soon. Thank you.